Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm going to go over Bitcoin cryptocurrency market and let's put this all together. I have been updating videos very often just because we're in chop. We're in chop, guys. But I'll say this. Moon Boys. The Moon Boys can come and wake back up. They probably never went to sleep. To be straight with you, the hardcore ones, that is. So, like I said, guys, I'm a moon boy at heart. Believe me, third waves are much more fun than this. Way more fun. And you're not in a third wave. I know some are going to tell you, you know what, guys? This is just the beginning stages of one. And it's just hard to get off the ground. That is open for debate. All right. So that is open for debate. Let's see here. So here's the deal. I'm going to go over that. I'm going to go into a little bit more depth in playing on chop, give you some ideas to think about if you want to, if you are becoming a trader in this environment, which I recommend that you do. If you want to learn how to trade crypto right now, I would say that if you can learn to trade this chop, you will be exceptionally well in a bull run at any sorts. Exceptionally well. Like you'll just, I mean, you will just freaking kill it once it goes in, even into just like a wave that it did over here like this. Okay. So if you can trade in this area and learn how to trade that effectively and have different strategies. So one of the things is getting like a big, like looking for one of these big pump candles like this. Probably is going to not be happening for a while. Whether it be, you know, we might see a candle like this over here, maybe more like this one or something, but probably not a very good area to be doing that. Just hoping for that. I've kind of just written that off for the time being for myself. So let's go over the weekly. I did update on the weekly. That weekly candle didn't look good, but this weekly candle came back. And that candle looks really good, or a lot better, I should say. Okay, so looks like Bitcoin is okay, and it's working on way to get out of there. Downtrend area line, you've probably seen all the videos on that. If it breaks through that, gets over that, a back test onto there would be a long. Okay, it's very simple in this weekly chart. You could do it on the daily chart, guys. All right, very simple on that. If you want to be a conservative trader, okay, you know, here's that downtrend line, gets over it, and a back test onto that, that's a long. Okay. That's a long daily chart. I'm going over the high time frame for the most part right now. So a couple rejections off of that. This is to be expected. You know, this is to be expected for Bitcoin to have a hard time getting through there. Probably will take 3 times, bounce out of there. People think it's going to go down. It'll get up over there, back test. So it's probably going to be a weak trade or something like up and over and then out of there or something like that. Like I said, guys, if it gets over that downtrend line and back tests it, it was like right over here where the Moon Boys were correct. So there's some people that are making fun of the Moon Boys when it was down here. And I said, well, the Moon Boys were right. I mean, how did this work out? It did a back test on this right over here. Okay, so there's a back test. It came up, back tested, and shot out of there. So that could happen over here, guys. That would be a good trade. You know, if it's like up and over and it's back testing onto this trend back over here, you know, your spot would be right there, especially if it's like in this area. So you see how the daily candle bodies. This is kind of, it's above that support area. This is a support resistance before, went through it. Resistance went through it, back down. Resistance went over it. Now it's using that. So I would say, yeah, I mean, if it's up and over and then a back test and it's like right here, like in this area, I would definitely do that. So for a long trade to 27.4 and then maybe 27.9 or 28. Okay. So that to me would be a really good deal. So let me go over the indicators, and we'll go over the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and the DXY, because I think they're getting ready for a reversal zone. And that's going to be more important for Bitcoin and going into this monthly uptrend, which its targets is just going to be the previous high of 31, 32K. and maybe maybe it's going to get beyond that. I don't put hopes into that, but that could happen. Okay, so let me go over some indicators here with you guys. Okay, so let me put on the all other indicators here: 10, 21, 40. So the deal is right now on the weekly for Bitcoin is you see the 9, it's working on that 9 period. It's a 9 for me, or 10 period moving average. It's a good indicator to use on the monthly. A lot of people use that on the monthly. You can see right there. Here is the, for me, it's a 9. It would be a 10. It's sitting right on top of that. Okay. So let me go back to a weekly. I'll show you guys. Here is the 9, and here's the 40 period moving average. And this 40, it's probably more than likely, guys, going to be going right along this 40 period moving average. Okay. This 40 period moving average like this. Okay. Boom. It could even do a shot up here, maybe another correction, like back down like this. I made a mess. Just a second, guys. Okay. Just in this area, right? And it does a shot up, and it'll do a correction over here. So it's going kind of like along the 40, okay? And then it's going to do a shot over here. And on the weekly, yeah, these raised up again a little bit. You know, they keep going up and down, because if this is a green candle, it goes up a little bit. If it's a red candle, it goes down a little bit. So the algos adjust. You have to remember, these algos, even though they're weekly, they do adjust, okay? They're going to adjust. Algos adjust quick. You know, like in trading. So algos see these, you know, the numbers in the pattern, and then they flip bearish, or they see the numbers in the pattern, they flip bullish example. So that's what they do, is they flip quick. They're quicker than the human mind. Just they have the numbers, they know to flip. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. And then if it does have a chance on this, get over the 200 SMA on Bitcoin and get up and over that, guys, Bitcoin, in my opinion, you want to be in the bullish mindset, and you could probably get bigger spikes on that, because most of the market is going to see it get above the 200 SMA on the weekly, and maybe they're going to ape in a little bit more, and then maybe push it up even higher. So, you know, you cannot write off 36K. 36K is not written off. Okay. Let me check these weekly targets for you. Okay. These weekly targets still keep updating at 36K. Okay. So it's not off the table yet. So is there a possibility? It could be a possibility. So it seems unlikely at this point, but always at the bottom, everything seems unlikely. So that's how it's looking like for a long-term time frame on Bitcoin. I don't see Bitcoin unless the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and the DXY. If the DXY keeps trending up, S&P 500, NASDAQ are like finished with the correct their uptrend, and they're just going into more of a bearish cycle, then you can write all this probably off, and it's just going to continue to go down. I don't see that happening. So we'll go over that on the longer time frame for the S&P 500, because a lot of people think the S&P 500 has peaked out. I don't think that it has, guys. I think it's in an ABC correction, and it's just correcting it. So let's go to the S&P. Just gets scary. And look at that. It bounced right off the 40 period moving average. Okay. So it's looking like it's going to have more of a trend, you know, go sideways like that on the weekly, guys. So let's take a look at some targets here. They haven't updated, but 4,800 was definitely a target up there. It hasn't updated. Nothing down below has updated. So it's in limbo, guys. It's in limbo. Okay. It's in limbo. But the way I look at this, okay, is that this is a flat. You have up and a wave. This is a massive flat. It went up in this wave, and this is an ABC, which makes sense if you understand Elliott wave. Elliott wave works on the S&P 500 right now, okay? Forget about Bitcoin where it is right now. I don't even mess with it. It's better to use the RSI, the stochastics, and maybe some indicators, support and resistance on Bitcoin. Other than that, I don't even waste my time with it. On Bitcoin, you can come up with a count, and probably next week it's going to change anyhow. So, and then if you have that count, you're kind of like, it puts a bias into your head. You think it's going to go that way, and it doesn't go that way. So I don't even mess with Elliott wave at all with Bitcoin, unless you go to real low time frames and you can see the smaller waves. But with S&P 500, to me, this looks like a beautiful zigzag correction that it did. Let's take a look at fib and see what it So yeah, it wicked past the 1-to-1 area. So it could be an ABC. Okay. Now the argument on the let's go to the RSI here. Let me throw that back on the RSI. Boom. So the argument is that here is the trend. The trend broke, and that that's the end of it. More than likely, what you might see is something like this. Okay, it might even get up above there, and then the trend will be over, like so, like this, right? And then the weekly RSI can go up like that, and then you're going to have the bearish divergence. It'll probably right at this point looks like right now just above the previous highs of 46, and maybe let's say back in February 24 or something like that of 47, just past it. It looks like it's just going to go past it. Okay, so that's how I'll look at it with the S&P 500. Okay, guys. So if the S&P 500 is going to make this move, then Bitcoin can make a move. Okay. So let's see the NASDAQ. Same thing with the NASDAQ. It has a little bit more strength, hasn't hit the 40. So it's breaking down right in this area. I would expect the same thing. What I just drew on there with the RSIs, what I'd be looking at. Could it come down to 12,800, 400-point drop? It very well could, guys. That's definitely an area of support that I'd be looking at for sure. So there could be more temporary downside on these deals right here, guys. Okay, so same thing with Bitcoin. I'll go over shorter term timeframes on Bitcoin. Okay, so that's how that looks. And then let's go over to the NASDAQ, or the not the NASDAQ, the DXY weekly. Man, that thing is just this right here just doesn't want to let up, does it? This does not want to let up. It's well past the targets. Let's take a look at the daily here. See, we got some bearish divergence forming. Yeah, there's no bearish divergence on the daily either, guys. This is not good for the financials. That took it all out, so it still wants to roll. It still wants to roll. This probably is going to hit 108, guys. So you see this daily RSI. You would, your thought process would be this came down and then maybe some bearish divergence, but you can see it took it out, got above the MA moving average on the RSI, and it has not broken down yet, guys. So if you see like right there, it just looks like it's working on it maybe a little bit, but this could come back down and then swing back up. So potentially a little bit more downside for the S&P, the NASDAQ, and potentially Bitcoin. Okay, so I would keep an eye on those three things before you really go hard into longs on Bitcoin. Okay, guys. So let me take off these indicators for the time being. All right, guys. So shorter term time frame, I'm going to go over Bitcoin and let you know what I got going on here with it. Okay, 4-hour chart. RSI, let me go back down, put on the shorter term time frames. Man, I use different indicators. Oh no, I want it to be. Okay, just a second. Just a second, guys. I messed that up. Okay. So here's the deal with Bitcoin. 4-hour. So it does look like a Bitcoin hit a trend up there. It could go up more. You look at the money flow is still kind of negative on the 4-hour on Market Cipher down here, guys. Downtrend on Market Cipher, peak, and then the stochastics 4-hour got peaked up, went back down. Okay, it's not to say it can't go up a little bit more. 4-hour, you can see it's a peak. You got a little bit of bearish divergence on the 4-hour. It's nice to see the 4-hour RSI probably go a little bit higher, but you see once on the 4-hour zone, once the 4 hours up into this zone, guys, up in this area, you can expect a reversal for Bitcoin. Okay. So this is definitely questionable. I think there's potentially a little bit more downside Bitcoin. This is looking awfully corrective, but even though it looks corrective, you know, it can still rip in a wave. Okay, you know, you did some of this over here. It looks corrective. It looks correct, then rip, right? You know, so like that. But so in this area for Bitcoin, what I'm expecting is I think it's in a some type of bullish trend over here. I'm not going to go to the details if it's wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and all this other stuff. Personally, over here, this was the start of a trend, and you know this is open for debate. Normally, the deal is for an impulse wave, for it to be an impulse wave, you want to see divergence, and you're not getting divergence. Okay, so what that usually means is a 3-wave move, and it could be, you know, a WXY. So this could be ABC, back down ABC, and then this over here was the correction. And then maybe over here, you have a 3-wave swing back down, and then another 3-wave swing back over here. So it could be, I'm kind of expecting Bitcoin to make a move. Here looks like a nice 3-wave swing. It's got like some sort of connector wave, and then maybe another 3-wave swing. These are targets of 26.5 is what I'm looking for. It could go down, hit the 200 SMA, which is at 26.4, or wick below it down to 26.2. And this definitely would be a zone for a long, in my opinion. Okay. So that's how I'm looking at that for Bitcoin. So, and then just checking this area, you know, it might come back over here like that. And then here's the 3-wave move, and then again, a 3-wave move, you know, people checking to see if it's going to break that resistance, and then a 3-wave move back down. And then, like I said, that area would be a long, guys. Okay. So that's how I look at that for Bitcoin. So you're going to have to be reactive to the market. All right. So, you know, going in and saying, hey, this is a short, and this is a short right here, which it very well could be. And then you have a target that's all the way down here. You have to be reactive to the market. If you're in a short, you should have already taken your profits, got your stop loss to break even, and you should be in a trade where you're not in a losing position, have anything to worry about. If it rips out of there, then it just stops you out. That's how you should be trading this market. If it goes back down, then you would get take the substantial amount of profits. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to close the short. There's all kinds of other ways you can do this. Go with lower amounts. You do smaller bullets, smaller amounts, and then you could, you know, get it up here too, and keep that short and just add a position short. When it comes back down, you know, you get in profits, and then you take some, you go long, etc. Things like that, guys. So, you know, you're going to have to be, if you're biased to one side in this market without hedging your position, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be really, really disappointed. And if you're always just trying to time these little pumps, okay, all the time, and you're like, I'm going to enter in right here, I'm going to get it on that pump. Look at that you're going to get in on some if you keep doing it. But you know, it's going to be very, very frustrating, because normally what's going to happen is you're going to get bored out of the market. You're going to get bored out of the market, and you're going to think, it's not going to pump. It's going to go down, and then it pumps. Okay. Or something like that. So, so that's how I would do it, guys. And look at the other time frames. Like I said, if you're going to be trading this market, you learn how to trade this market really, really well. And don't get me wrong, I'm still developing my lower time frame areas of crypto to be able to trade this market and get very, very effective at it, where you're taking your meat of your moves, right? So in these areas, right, you're just trying to get the meat of the move. So let's say you did a move right here. You hit this one, and you got the meat of the move. You exited out. If you were quick, you could have entered into a short right there, got that meat of that move, right? Okay. And that doesn't mean that you have to exit your long. Okay. Okay. You could have stayed in your long position, taken some profits. It comes all the way back down here to zero, right? Let's say you entered in over here. You got to stop maybe over here, right? And you enter into a short to hedge it, get back down. You take some of that profit right there, right? And then your long went all the way back up again, back into profit. Okay. So, if you're biased to one side in this market, guys, okay, if you're biased to one side right now with Bitcoin and you're just up only, you're probably going to get very disappointed. Okay. So I'm up and to the right for a little while. Let me check what the 4-hour has here. Let me look at some targets. Okay. The 4-hour target started updating now. Okay. So there's a potential up there for 27.9. So we got 4-hour on the table. So yeah. 4 hours updating, and then 26.5. Like I said, 26.5, 6-ish is definitely an area I'd be looking for, and then go long, and then 27.9 would be the next target I'd be looking at too, guys. Okay. So that's how I'm looking at that for Bitcoin. And then this is a janky wave. This is a janky wave. And I would say if it gets back down here, it's a long 27.6 to 27.9. And then I would be looking at these areas, guys, right over here. Okay. Right in this area, 27.9, 28, as high as 28.3 in this area. For it to get up to, and then another correction back down. Okay, probably get on top of this area again or something like that. So I'd be checking out, and then probably another janky wave move up. Could be have wicks back down to this area, guys. So this is I have this red line for this whole section is the point of control. So having all that stuff on my chart right now for Bitcoin. Okay, so in the meantime, that's going to be good for Ethereum. Two potentially. Let me look at Ethereum on a 4-hour chart. There's no updated 4-hour top targets yet on Ethereum, guys. So let me take this off. So Ethereum on the 4-hour. Yeah, you see Ethereum, it's up top there on the 4-hour. You see when it gets up there, usually up in that area is usually a reversal on the 4-hour. High up market cipher. Money flow is starting to become positive on the 4-hour for the first time in, it looks like June. Okay. So you're starting to get a little bit of signal, positive money flow on Ethereum, guys. Okay. So Ethereum is in that move. It could keep trending up. I'm actually expecting Ethereum. Let me see. I'm on the wrong chart here. Where's that chart? Yeah, Ethereum hit their target and to probably get up into those areas back up there, guys, and then have a reversal back down to 1640, and that would be a long in that area. Okay, so that's how I'm looking at it with the market. I think it's going to be up and to the right. The main thing with crypto is your bias. As long as the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ come down and correct and start going into an uptrend, and the DXY cools off a little bit, and then your bias should be starting to flip more towards being bullish in cryptocurrency. Okay, that's how I'm looking at it for all these assets, guys. And some of them will be able to roll out of there pretty decent, I think. Okay, so Chainlink keeps going up. All right, guys, that is the end of the video. If you made it all the way to the end, I do appreciate that. Peace.